Alright, I just want to make a quick video on this guitar while I'm still freshly in love with it. So this is a Harmony 1946 H1456. And I was given this guitar for free. There was a local music store in town that was just going through their old inventory. And they had some older guitars that need a lot of work in the back. And they knew that I was a local repair guy. And so they called me and just asked if I wanted it for nothing. So I went over there and checked it out, and there was some really cool stuff. One other thing that I can't talk about yet, it's getting worked on, but it's going to be a pretty exciting video. But this was one of them. And when I got this thing, it was just in pieces. It didn't have any machine heads. The trapeze was off in the back. There were some big holes in the back where the trapeze had gone. They didn't fit anymore. It came with the bridge. There's some big cracks in the back. It just needed a lot of work, and so I gladly took it. So I just spent, actually, upon getting it, it did not need a whole ton of work. I actually got this thing up and running pretty quickly. So I didn't even bother filming myself doing the work because I assumed that there was going to be a big problem with one part of it. It didn't end up being a problem at all, and yeah, this thing's up and running and it sounds really, really cool. So, in the back, we had all these huge cracks. And there's one that went all the way across here, 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 here. There's four huge cracks. So I quickly fixed those by filling them with glue, like wood glue. What I did is I did the squeeze-in method, where you do a bead of glue along the crack, and then you squeeze it into the wood. And then I clamped it and set it, and then I put some cleats on the inside every inch or so. So this thing is fully repaired on the back. These cracks were huge and open and like gaping. So it turned out really well. No more cracks. As far as the side goes, we're still missing the strap button, but I have an old one of those kicking around somewhere. I just need to find it. I removed the old one because it had disintegrated, so I drilled that out and got rid of it. So we can still use the hole for a new strap button, so that's no problem. These holes where the trapeze is added to the body, those were totally screwed out, like there was no grip for the screws. So I filled those up with, I just took barbecue skewers dipped in glue, filled up those holes, cut them at the base, waited for those to dry, and then you can screw in the holes again. So that just builds up the wood so you can screw back into it. And then the top, there was more cracks right here that I repaired. I cleated and glued those. This part was missing, so I had to build that back up. Then I put the trapeze back on, which wasn't a problem. The bridge, the floating bridge, actually was in great shape. Nothing wrong with that. But another thing I discovered about this guitar, so the body is confirmed to be a 1946 H1456. But one thing I couldn't find was anything about the neck. So the neck looks old. The frets are in really good shape. What's really unique about the neck, though, is the inlays. So these are kind of like box inlays, like you see on like a Gibson or something, but they have that black stripe going parallel through the middle. So it's kind of like a split block inlay, but I've never seen one like this. I took a bunch of pictures. I did a reverse Google search on the internet with the pictures, and I couldn't find anything that matched this. So if anyone in the comments knows what this neck is, please let me know, because this neck did not originally come on this guitar. So what happened is that someone removed the old neck and then put on this neck, which is actually pretty cool because the old Harmonies didn't have a truss rod, and this new neck does. And whoever put this neck on put it on perfectly. Like once I restrung it, I've got nice low action, and the frets are great on this thing. I can play it all the way up and down with no buzzing. It's got a bone nut, and the truss adjustment is much like a Gibson. It's got a Gibson style truss rod on there. But I just can't figure out what sort of neck this is. So any help on that would be appreciated. So, and then I used an old set of machine heads that I had. These are Hipshot locking machine heads. I pulled this off of a guitar that I got that wasn't stock, but it came with the stock tuner, so I always had this set lying around. They're very lightweight and they're locking, and they fit the holes on this headstock just perfectly, so that's a really nice upgrade for this guitar. And yeah, it needed a little bit of a tweak on the truss rod, and I had to set the intonation on the saddle, because with a floating saddle you just set the intonation by moving that back and forwards and trying to find the sweet spot where you find the best intonation. But yeah, I put a set of D'Addario EJ16s on here, some light D'Addarios, and it sounds fantastic. So yeah, just wanted to show this off a little bit. It's a great guitar. Sounds awesome. It's so old and cool. 1946. This is the kind of that like parlor archtop style guitar, and it has a really vintage sound. I'm gonna go ahead and play it a little bit for you right away so you can hear it. But yeah, I just was pretty surprised with how this little project turned out. It was quick, it was easy, and it's a pretty fantastic guitar. So yeah, that's it for today. Nice quick video. I just wanted to tell someone about this guitar and get it documented. But yeah, fantastic little guitar. The neck was put on really nicely. And it's a 3-piece maple neck. Maple necks are great because they just last forever and they usually don't need much adjustments. And the body's in quite nice shape aside from the cracks, which are now fixed. And yeah, this thing just sounds like super old school vintage archtop sounding guitar. I might figure out a way to put a pickup on here eventually, but for now I'm just gonna keep it in the shop and play the heck out of it.